The Meraki Vision Portal was designed from the ground up for pure physical security use cases, like viewing or monitoring camera video and investigating incidents. We're currently in the Meraki dashboard, but if I hover over cameras and click Meraki Vision Portal, it opens the interface. We could get there directly by going to vision.meraki.com, or alternatively, you can install the Vision Portal as a standalone web app, and then all you'd have to do is launch the app without going through your browser. So there's multiple ways to get there. Moving through this interface is very smooth because we designed it to be that way. It took me straight to the network I was already looking at in Dashboard, but if I want to look at the cameras for a different location, I can click up here and choose my location from a list. If I already know the name of what I'm looking for, but it's in a different network, I can search that up here in the global search bar, and you can search for cameras and other things across networks. It's an even quicker way to navigate than to switch networks manually. Obviously, the thing taking up the most screen real estate here is the live feed of one of our cameras. I can zoom in or zoom out with digital zoom. I can also pinch to zoom using my laptop's trackpad. Down here in the bottom right corner, we have a cloud icon that indicates that we're streaming through the cloud. If I was on site, the stream would be direct and I would see a different icon, but we didn't have to change anything in our firewall to make this stream remotely. It just works. If I want to take this full screen, I can easily do that. And if I want to view video from a different camera, we can go over here to the navigation pane, and I have my list of cameras for this location. Notice the interface gives me a preview of what each camera feed looks like with a thumbnail image. So I don't have to click on it to figure out what's in the video frame, which saves a ton of time when you're in a hurry. I can also search for a camera or a tag. So if I type bike room, here are my cameras in the bike room. You can see the tags that are applied to the camera up here, and you assign those in Dashboard. But imagine you have 30 to 40 cameras at a location, how much time a simple search will save you. So I'll select a bike room camera. And we have playback controls down here. I can play, pause, move forward or backward by one frame at a time, which is really useful if you're investigating an incident that happened very quickly. You could also go back by 10 seconds or forward by 10 seconds. Now, speaking of going back, accessing historical video is also very easy to do. Down here is the timeline. I can click anywhere on here and it will play back the video from that time. I can also zoom in or zoom out on this timeline. Right now I have a 30-minute view, but if I need to go back further than that, I can zoom out to 4 hours, for example. Motion that occurred is visualized with these orange lines. If you hover over one, you'll get a thumbnail showing you what the motion was, and if you want to watch it, you just click on it. If you already know exactly what time you want to view, you can use the time picker, and you could type in a time using natural language like Thursday at noon, or you could be more specific and say Thursday at 9:03 a.m. and it will play back the video from that time. And if you'd rather get more precise, you can select your date, and then you could use the clock time selector here. So I could do 9:03:25, just like that, or whichever way you prefer. I could also share this stream with another camera user using this share button, and it will copy the link to this video starting at this timestamp. Inside Dashboard, you can also get a link to share video with external parties to view a live feed, like law enforcement, for example. Oftentimes, our users are using this interface to find a specific event. So suppose you want to investigate an incident. Outside of using these motion blocks, you could use motion search. Let's say that we were asked to figure out what time this person left the bike room on Thursday. So I would click motion search up here, and it immediately gives you all of the motion events seen on this camera for a 2-hour window. But it also gives me a grid view. This allows me to specify which parts of the frame I want to search for motion. If I want to search the entire frame, I could just leave it, but I'll search this walkway here. And then you come over here and you put in the time range that you want to search. So I want to search for motion between Thursday at noon and 4 p.m. After you do that, the Vision Portal will automatically return a list of motion events. And look at that. You can see this person walking through the frame without even watching the video back. You could click expand to see this result in more detail, and you can play back the full event. You could download this image, or you could export the video from this event. But this is what we call a motion recap image. Motion recap images are entire events represented in a single image. And the way it's done is by subtracting the background image and then superimposing many frames of the main subjects on top of the background image. And the benefit is, most times you can tell what happened without having to play the video back. So it will save you a lot of time during an investigation. Like, I know that this is not the person we're looking for, so I don't have to waste my time watching that video. This looks like it could be our person, so I'll click on this one, and it will play back the event. And then if I exit the search, this grid view will go away. And yep, that's our guy. Now, you may also decide that you want a better angle of the incident, so I could come back up here to my map view and pick a different angle. And we've uploaded a floor plan and dashboard, and we placed our cameras on it. So we can actually visualize here where these cameras are at this location. We can even see which direction they're pointed. So if you hover over one of them, you're also going to see the name and the preview of that frame again. And then if you select one, the video starts playing for that camera. And then I could export using the export button up here as well. So I could put in a file name, put in my timestamps, or I could just use the timeline down here to set my beginning and end times. And then I would click export, and it would download my file. Now, what's actually even better on this portal is we also tell you if this camera is a part of a video wall, because then you can view multiple cameras at once. And it is. It says this is a part of the bike room video wall, so I'll click on that. And now we can watch this event unfold on all of our bike room cameras at once. And all of these playback controls down here work on video walls too. So I could play, pause, fast forward, rewind, go back to a specific time, whatever I want to do, and it will do that for all of the video frames on this video wall. Now, if you want to export the video from multiple of these angles, you can click export and then select the cameras that you want to include in the export. Make sure the timestamps are what you want. And then when you click export, it's going to produce a single MP4 file for you with each of these clips sequentially in one video. And the clip will have the date and the timestamp and the name of the cameras in the video automatically. So no need to edit that in later. And this is one of multiple video walls we have. You can see all of the video walls that have been set up by us here at Meraki for this location. But that's it. We never had to fast forward through hours of video to find the answer to this question. We were able to watch our event unfold on multiple camera angles, and we were able to export our video as an MP4 file. So we've got everything we need, and we're done with our investigation in a matter of minutes.
So the goal is for us to really, from a student standpoint and a staff standpoint, to make sure that every individual in this building feels safe, they feel comfortable coming here, and that they know we are on top of every situation that could arise at the building.
So Reading School District is an urban district in Pennsylvania with about 18,000 kids, about 2,000 employees. We have 5 miles of hallway that need to be covered and probably in the range of 15 security guards. So obviously we need the assistance of the technology.
So we've begun deploying MV across the district, and today we have 5 sites complete at about 400 cameras total, and that will probably triple over the next year. And with our previous deployment, we had a lot of NVRs, and in those NVRs are a lot of spinning disks, and spinning disks like to die all the time. Typically, when one hard drive would die, it would take the whole unit down, so that was about 20 cameras that we would lose, and that's just not appropriate.
Our cameras would go down here, I'd have to make a phone call, and it's basically down to one guy now for the whole like East Coast, I believe. So he'd be pretty busy, so it might take him 3 weeks to get here, and that's a little bit of a problem when we have a school with almost 3,000 kids to not have coverage.
And that's all very different with MV. There's no more spinning disks. We don't have that anymore. If a camera goes down, that's one camera that's going down, and that's something that we can very easily troubleshoot and handle internally. Now that we're on the MV platform, training has been a lot simpler than what it needed to be previously. We've done one training session, and I was able to cover all the features, and now internally within the department, they've been able to train each other.
The motion search is still probably one of the most impressive features to me because it's very, very small scale that you can essentially highlight blocks and look for movement or activity in the footage, and it's really been very helpful to determine patterns of behavior and changes in the footage.
So we're really looking forward to what the cameras can capture in the future for us as far as analytics goes. So even today with just the people tracking, it's obvious that this is a very powerful feature, and so we're really looking forward to what Meraki can bring with this.
I built the world's most useless camera. Let's see if it works still. Alright, so this camera is pointing at this wall, and I'm looking at the raw detections, and then I'm finding one of them, and I'm finding it's like centroid X, and I'm mapping that across the entire space, and turning that into notes on a piano, and then as I move... It's a little slow. But there you have it, the world's most useless piano. That's it.
So I want to show you what the in-dashboard analytics look like on some of those live cameras here. So if you recall, if I go back to my cameras page, this takes me to that list of cameras, and the analytics are stored on a per camera basis. So if I click back on my MV22 here, notice I have an analytics tab that I can click on. And at the top, I can set my time resolution, I can set my time frame. Right now I'm looking at a 1 hour resolution over the course of a full day, and I can see my people counting information across my time series. So I can see what my peak occupancy was. So I can see here that my peak occupancy was at about 12:30. I can see my total entrances for the day were about 3,425. Makes sense given that these cameras are facing out a very busy street. And then if I were to click on one of these, it's going to drill down and give me more detailed information down to the minute. So I can see it looks like this minute was my most highly utilized. And if you click on that, it's going to play that back, and it's going to show you the people that were actually detected in that time. Now, if I go back to where I was on that analytics tab and I scroll down, I'm looking at my 1 minute resolution. I'll set this back to 1 hour. And I have motion heat maps as well. This is going to show me where motion in the frame has been detected. And so you can see in the morning, I'm only getting vehicle movement here. So I can see that in my street. I'm getting people and vehicles here, so I'm obviously getting motion. Some of the trees are setting that off. But imagine in a retail environment, being able to see what path customers are taking through the store. There's a lot of different ways in which this might be useful to you.
We
serve most of Miami-Dade County. We have a library system with 50 library locations. We serve about 2.5 million people in 34 different municipalities.
The vision is to make it one of the most advanced libraries in the country.
We were in the middle of doing an internet migration to a new service provider, and we knew that our capacity cannot handle those new technology. So we used that as an opportunity to upgrade our network infrastructure.
So we combined what we thought Meraki brought to the table with taking the library to the next level.
We deployed the network infrastructure that includes router switches, access point, and cameras in less than 4 months.
One of the challenges you have in libraries is that there's so many different types of data that is being collected, and it's being collected in different places. Our IT team here developed a dashboard for us to help bring that data together. Capturing all that data in one dashboard has just been a huge help for us. Before we were using these little plastic door counters that were kind of attached to our security gates, but now we've been using the Cisco Meraki camera system to actually do our door counting.
See, I can have 100,000 visitors. I can have 50,000 of them check out content. What were the other 50,000 doing? That's the question Meraki's helping us answer. We're taking their video technology and we're able to look within the library. Where are people congregating and why? What is the content that's in that area that interests those patrons the most?
That information would allow the library administration to customize the services to each of the library.
And it allows us to try out new things, really. People are coming forth with new ways to access content all the time, and having a strong network, having access to technology, allows people to experiment with things in the library.
This gives us an opportunity to plan not only the present, but also to plan the future.